All right, welcome in everyone. It is time for Total Bases. It's Monday morning. We kick off a new week. Thank you guys for tuning in on Saturday. Our first Saturday show had, I think, more viewers than we get during the week. So that Saturday 11 a.m. time slot must be pretty popular. For the time being, though, we fit into the Wager Talk programming at 9 a.m. Eastern during the week. So this is the time we will be on Monday through Friday. And then, of course, on Saturday, we will be back in the 11 a.m. slot. I am still in Indianapolis. As you can see, I've got my UConn Huskies jacket on. I will be at the final tonight. But before the very late tip-off for the final, we got a big baseball game, a World Series rematch from last year, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. I'll go to Bryan Leonard to start us off. I talked about it last week. I said the Blue Jays might be looking like a fade, and they went out and got swept by none other than the Chicago White Sox. Do you see them bouncing back at all here?
Well, we've got Robleski going on the mound for the Dodgers. He's a lefty, and while he's mostly been used as the long man, he starts every once in a while, and I really like him. I think he's a very good pitcher. He's much better than Hiroki Sasaki, who I faded again. And Scherzer's going for Toronto. That guy, I don't know how old he is, but he continues to go out and give good efforts, surprising efforts. I'd love to have a guy like that on my team. So you got the Dodgers at Toronto. Toronto, as you mentioned, the offense is really struggling a little bit right now. The success they had a couple days ago was all the bottom of the order guys. So a lot of the key players at the top of the order for Toronto are in a little bit of a slump. Last thing you want to do when you're slumping is go up against this Dodgers pitching staff. I think the line is fair here for the Dodgers. We're looking at basically a 140 favorite, something to that range. Total 8.5 to the over, 9 to the under. But I think the Dodgers are going to have some success here. As much as I like Scherzer, going against this Dodger offense is a little bit tougher than some of the other teams that they played. And I know Toronto wants this game. I know the country of Canada wants this game because they thought they had it. And hey, to be honest with you, we thought they had it too. I think all three of us thought that Toronto was going to advance. But the Dodgers find a way to win. And coming off of that series against Washington, I bet either the Dodgers or the over in every single game. In fact, I've won off. As you notice, I'm not wearing my glasses today. So I've won off 7 straight winners in baseball now. So it just takes time, and you get a little streaky early in the season. But right now I'm seeing it very well, so I didn't wear my glasses today. But I do like the Dodgers here. If you can get it at 140 or less, I think it's a decent bet here. Is that Toronto pitching staff right now is in a major hurt. So I'll take the Dodgers in this one.
Let's get Tokyo Brandon in here. I mean, I'll say quick too, Brian. You know, we kind of came on Friday struggling a little bit. I went 5-0 in baseball this weekend. Took a horrible beat in my college basketball bet yesterday with Tulsa, who could not inbound a ball and then goes into overtime and loses and fails to cover the 5.5. But I made up for it with a 5-0 baseball weekend. So again, the ebbs and flows. Hopefully we bring that into this week as well. Let's get Tokyo Brandon in here. I know TB was seeing it extremely well that first week. So how was your weekend? And talk to us about Dodgers Blue Jays.
Weekend was kind of a break-even kind of weekend, coming back to earth a little bit. And I do have a 5% play today, but it's not in this game. So I'll talk about this game. I did make a free play video on this game. It's on WagerTalk's YouTube channel, or it will be later on. And kind of 100% agree with Brian. A couple of more points to make on it. The Blue Jays they struggle against lefties. Robleski's a lefty. I do love Scherzer, and every guy who's ever played baseball with him says they all say he's the greatest teammate they've ever had. So yeah, would be a great guy to have a beer with. He's a great pitcher. He's an awesome pitcher, but he's in the twilight years of his career, and his numbers against the Dodgers throughout his career, so not bad. The thing is, after you get swept by one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, well, okay, Adam's going to have a problem with me saying that the White Sox are one of the worst teams in Major League. Okay.
You're catching yourself at least. You see? You know.
After getting swept by the White Sox, coming back home, traveling back home, and playing the next day, we all know as professional sports bettors that the come back home first game next day flat spot is a flat spot. It's a real thing. And I generally don't believe in superstitions and who wants it more and garbage like that. But the come back home after a series is a thing. I think they'll be a little flat. And overall, the Dodgers are just a better team. I saw someone in the comments saying it, you know, getting the Dodgers at this price is insane. And I kind of agree. They have the better lineup. They are missing Mookie Betts. He's going to be out for a couple weeks, but Mookie Betts is hitting 190. I don't think they're going to miss him. They've come this far without him. So I think they'll continue going on just fine. And yeah, it would be Dodgers or nothing for me as well. Better lineup. Maybe not the better starter, but better lineup and better bullpen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard that about Scherzer too. I know when he came to Binghamton to do a rehab assignment, he really went all out to just take care of the AA guys at that point. Which I mean, I've heard of stuff like that happening before, but I guess he really went above and beyond with what he did for the team, when he was down there on rehab. So yeah, by all accounts, Scherzer, the man. As far as this is, you couldn't pay me to take the Blue Jays here. I don't think the Dodgers is some great value. I think it's right where it's supposed to be. Minus 140 seems like, that's what it is kind of where I'm at with the number. But it kind of goes back to what I'm saying last week. Cody Ponce goes down. The pitching depth was already somewhat compromised coming into the season. You Savage, Bieber, Barrios on the IL. They bring up Lazaro Estrada like I expected. There's not a ton of pitching depth in that organization to begin with. So they came into the year thinking, man, we're probably good on pitching, even with the couple injuries. But I do think Brendan Little not being able to figure it out, and then the Ponce injury, the Yimi Garcia still on the IL. There's only so much you can take. Even a good team like the Blue Jays, there's only so much you can take before that really starts to chip away at how good you actually are. Alejandro Kirk on the IL. I mean, they are quite banged up right now. And I think that's what I saw over the weekend was the Blue Jays team right now that's on the field is not the team that was the team that was priced as the Blue Jays coming into the season. It's not the team that won the World Series, that went to the World Series last year and came a step away from winning. Bo Bichette not even there anymore. Of course, he's now in New York. So number for me was where it was supposed to be, kind of what I would expect it to be, but you could not put me on the Blue Jays right here. It would have to be Dodgers or pass for me. All right, let's go to Jose Perez. Let's get in the chat here. We'll start rattling off chat questions for the rest of the show. I'll go to TB on this one just because we have another chat member complimenting you on your wardrobe. Said your wardrobe is unmatched. Absolutely is. Can't argue with that at all. He likes the value on the Reds today. So that's a team that, got a head turn from me this weekend. Cincinnati Reds played great. The Marlins, I think, played pretty good in their own regard, even though I believe they dropped 2 of 3 in that series to the Yankees. So TB, I'm going to you, Reds, Marlins. Brandon Williamson, Jansen, Junk. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, on my Twitter, Tokyo _ Brandon, I already put out my pitcher OPS rankings, and at 3 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to put out my pitcher outs projections. So catch my Twitter. I am on the cover of Tiger Beat magazine on my Twitter today. It's kind of cool. I'm next to Leaf Garrett. So Adam, you probably never even heard the name Leaf Garrett, have you?
You look a lot better now than he does. I'll tell you that.
But Farrah Fawcett's on the cover too. So take a look at my Twitter and see all my rankings and stuff. And Junk has pretty good numbers against these Reds. Reds bullpen's playing a little better. Miami, man, they're playing really well. Who would have expected Miami to have the record they have right now? Reds are not hitting very well, and I'm not high on Brandon Williams, but Miami is coming off the road on an emotional win over the Yankees yesterday. They came from behind. I think it was the 8th inning they came from behind, and they came back and won, and now they're going back home and playing an not really early game, but they're playing right away. They have no time to rest. So this is, again, the come home flat spot. So do you believe more in the team that's hot, or do you believe more in the come home flat spot is kind of the question here. I'm not really sure what to make of it. But I know Miami's playing better than the Reds, but again, some people in the chat have referred to it. Could be a flat spot, so might stay away.
Bryan, I'll bring you in on this one because I've got a opinion here too, but I want to go to you first. The Marlins, I think they're right where we kind of expected them to be. Kind of an easy start to the season from a scheduling standpoint. 2 very reasonable opponents, and then they dropped 2 of 3 at Yankee Stadium. I know I kind of expected to get them to get one of those, so they do steal one in the end. I guess I was more surprised, Bryan, in the fact that the Rangers, the Reds, a team I do like, swept the Rangers, another team that I'm pretty high on this year. So I've got an opinion, but I want to hear yours first. Tell me how you're looking at Reds Marlins.
Well, Jansen Junk is a guy who's picked up about 2 miles an hour on just about all of his pitches in spring training. That was the thing before he didn't have that ability to strike people out. Now with that additional velocity, there's a lot of guys that I speak to that are really excited about him. The only thing you would have to think after playing in Yankee Stadium, you would have to think they have a little bit of a letdown coming back, as Brandon had talked about, coming back home here. I think the price is favorable to Miami, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. Williamson's a lefty. Didn't pitch a lot last year, but he's a guy that can match this game. Maybe the under possibly, but it's probably not going to make my card. But that's the way I'm looking at it. Junk's a guy right now that there's a lot of buyers out on him right now.
I'm one of them. I like Jansen Junk. Listen, the Marlins completely. This goes back to we've talked about it like almost ad nauseum on this show, how good that Marlins development system is now with Peter Bendix coming over from the Rays. This is now, I think, year like 3 or 4 since he's been there. And it's just that it's night and day to what they had there prior. Jansen Junk, I thought he was awful in the Brewers organization. And that was a concern for me because the Brewers tend to do a really good job with pitchers as well. And when they gave up on him, I was like, all right, I wasn't high on him coming to, that organization initially, but this is now, I think, year 2. He looked like a different pitcher last year. Spent time down at Jacksonville, was dominant, comes up, I think, about 110 innings at the big league level. Was by, aside from a little bit of a dip after the All-Star break, Jansen Junk was great last year for the Marlins. So I am one of those people, Bryan, that's pretty high on him as well. I'll address the bullpens here real quick. Both teams used bullpen arms yesterday. The Reds have now had to win 3 close games. So the Reds have been using leverage arms all weekend. The Marlins used a lot of bullpen in that back and forth game with the Yankees. But the other thing I really love about this Marlins pitching staff, they're not overly reliant on like 1 or 2 like leverage bullpen guys. They have a bunch of guys that can just go 2 or 3 innings. Now, I don't know that there's any guy I truly love in like a big time save situation, but as far as bullpen depth is concerned, I think the Marlins have some bullpen depth because they're accumulating these guys that can just go 2 or 3 innings. You can use them as an opener. I think yesterday they let Pete Fairbanks open so he could go to the hospital to be with his wife. So, I think Paddock came in as sort of like a piggyback or like a bulk guy yesterday. So, I'll talk about Williamson for a second. He was out, I think, all of last year. Tommy John surgery. The year before, he barely pitched. So this is a guy that's barely pitched. the last 2 years, and he got bombed by the Pirates in his first start of the season. I don't know if that means he's going to get bombed here, but listen, you got a guy that's coming off of essentially 2 years of injury, right? Like 2024, he barely pitched. 2025, Tommy John surgery, missed the whole season. That's what he looked like in his opener. I kind of like the Marlins. This might be my parlay leg. We will, I guess we'll lock that. We'll decide at the end of the show. But I don't know that I find one, at least in the next 30 minutes or so, that I want more than the fish right here. So I think I'm going to be on the Marlins. That's certainly the way I would look at this game. All right, TB, I'm going to you. Let's go to I'm just looking through the chat here.
Yeah.
Just want to get one from the chat. Let's go to I want to give you one that I think you have an opinion on. The chat wants to talk Rockies baseball. The Rockies yesterday, I cashed with them again on the +1.5. Didn't need it. They won the game. Took 2 of 3 from the Phillies. They are 3-6 straight up now, but they're 7-2 on the +1.5 run line, which is something that I feel like we kind of highlighted here on this show, going into the season. Now they're back home and they're up against an Astros team that's off to a good start in their own respect, 6-4 coming into the new week. Astros out in Colorado. Do you have any interest in the Rockies again here at altitude on their home field against the Astros?
I have interest in the game itself, but not particularly on a side. So let me tell you what I think. I got Feltner ranked. I take all 200 and 300, whatever starting pitchers, and I curve them on a curve of 30, and Feltner's ranked 29. So Rockies bullpen ranked 20. Astros bullpen ranked 5, and Astros are crushing the ball right now. And look, I didn't expect them. I actually expected the Astros coming into the season to regress a little bit, but they've been smashing it. I mean, smash. So I got them ranked number 1 in hitting right now in current form. Their team total is only 5.5. I think that's really low in Colorado. They've been putting up 9s and 8s in other places, and they're facing Feltner and this bullpen. I don't think the Astros will have any trouble scoring 6 runs with 9 innings of at-bats. I think that'll be my parlay leg, is the Astros over 5.5. Should get there in the second inning as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know the odds on it. I'll look them up while you pass it to Brian. But yeah, I think Astros over 5.5 seems really low to me.
TB, I think I could get down with that team total right there. I don't know if it means I don't like the Astros here, but I think I can get down with the team total. I had this like closer to 6.5 for the Astros. My projection on runs for them is closer to 6.5. So I think if you get a 5.5, that's pretty good.
It's minus.
Brian, I'll bring you in.
Sorry, minus 134.
Yeah, that's a reasonable look right there, Brian. Rockies, they've been a wagon, right, against the +1.5, 7-2 now to start the season. Still value, in my opinion, on the Rockies. It's the only way I could look at it here. What are you doing, Astros Rockies?
I agree. I think it's an obvious play here on Colorado, either plus the 1.5 or maybe on the money line. Why are the Astros such a big favorite here? We're already, of course, we've lost when we've gone against the Astros. We'll just make that clear right now. But that's not a team I want to be betting on. And you're playing them on the road here as a huge favorite with Cody Bolton on the mound. And if you take a look at, he's a free agent from Cleveland. He was signed in 2025. I'm not a big favorite of Cody Bolton. In fact, he may only go 2 or 3 innings here if he goes that far. Take a look at the bullpen here for the Astros. Bryan Abreu went 16 pitches yesterday, took the loss. He did not look good. Brian King, 23 pitches yesterday. Tang, 33 pitches 2 days ago. Okerts pitched each of the last 2 days. Blue Ball, who I really like in this bullpen, threw 44 pitches yesterday and they brought up Christian Roa, and he threw 27 pitches. So the only guys who didn't pitch pretty much yesterday or the day before are Ryan Weiss and Rodri Munoz, and they pitched on Friday throwing 38 and 40 pitches. So the Rockies are going to get to this Houston pitching staff in this game. Catching them as a home underdog here, I have no problems betting the over in this game, and I think that the betting people have been doing that. It opened at 9.5 minus 120, and now I'm seeing 10.5. So they're also like the over, but I'm not trusting Houston in this game. If I play this game from a side perspective, I'm either playing Colorado in the first 5 or Colorado in the full game.
Yeah, I mean, again, goes back to what I said at the beginning of the year. The Rockies, they're even with the fact that they will be one of the worst teams in the league this year in terms of like win-loss record. They're probably, maybe they win 65 games, maybe they win 60 games. Let's say they win 63 games, okay? That would be a 20-game improvement on what they did last year. That, I think the books are having a difficult time pricing that, because that, I mean, to have a 20-game jump, like they're still getting priced like they were last year. And they haven't, it's almost been the perfect storm, and I'll bring Brian back in here. It's almost been the perfect storm, Brian, because they came out and lost some one-run games. So it's like, had they started 7-2, which is what they are against the plus 1.5 right now, you would see a line shift already. But they haven't. They've lost a lot of close games. So for the time being, you're still getting that big time value on the plus 1.5, which is kind of what we said right out of the gate.
Yeah, I can buy into the 63 wins. Let's just say 60. Houston, I think, is a 75, 78 win team. So you've got a team 15, 18 games better on the road with a guy who's not even in your starting rotation coming in with the bullpen all banged, all used up. There's no way they should be this high of a favorite in this game. And granted, when you're playing underdogs, especially when the total is 10.5, you're going to see a lot of variance. Colorado could win this game 10-0. They could get blown out 15-0. It could happen. But from a value standpoint, that's how you got to be able to win in Major League Baseball, is figuring out what the actual percentage of the time this team is going to win this game and compare it to what the line is. And that's clear bargain on Colorado here.
I want to go to this chat question quick, because I don't know that so Danzo says, you guys are missing the obvious here. It's the altitude of Colorado. The Phillies scored 10 on the first 5 innings of game 1, and then only 3 from the 6th inning on Friday through Sunday. Like, I guess, like, I don't really understand what we're missing. It's like the Phillies just didn't hit. I mean, listen, if the altitude only matters if you're putting the ball in play and then elevating the ball, right? Like if you're swinging and missing, and it's like the Phillies just didn't have great at bats all weekend, and yesterday was the same thing. So just to go back to Tokyo Brandon's point, I don't think that just because the Rockies had a couple good days from a pitching standpoint, or a team like the Phillies didn't hit against them, the Phillies never take that series seriously for whatever reason. I remember the Phillies went and struggled out in Denver last year too. But it's like, just because there was a couple low scoring games, don't think that this couldn't be 9-8 very quickly. And that's kind of why, even though I like the Rockies plus 1.5, I was saying Tokyo Brandon's probably a good bet with whatever team total he takes, because I mean, you probably, the altitude only is held down for so long. You're not going to see many low scoring games in Colorado. I think the total's 10.5 or 11. TV's probably right. He's probably 6-5 in the second inning somehow. Like, just
seems like
that. I mean, because again, that's why I haven't bet the Rockies yet. It's not like I'm like overly confident in Feltner, but like Brian said, what do you have to be confident about the Astros here?
Yeah.
And why would you lay 1.5 with them? That seems like an insane bet right there. Yeah. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because, again, I just don't think, one series to another, one game to another. There's a lot of history that says there's going to be runs in this ballpark. Phillies just didn't hit this weekend. Small sample size. And yeah, Tony, I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm not really sold on Feltner either. It's why I haven't bet the game yet. So I see sort of merit to all of those things. And again, maybe TB's on the right track with the total going over.
You'd have to throw in cocaine and hookers for me to buy Feltner.
Yeah, but it's like you don't even have to, but like you shouldn't be looking at it like, oh, I've got to back Feltner. It's not like they're gonna leave him out there for 6 innings. It's that they would go to whoever is up next, and you're still getting a run and a half against like just a guy that's arguably worse than Feltner, right? Like, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, Feltner's projected by my numbers to go 5 innings. The other guy 4.2. And then you're playing in Colorado, where there's going to be a lot of runs scored. So I don't know if either one of them get that far. I don't think either one of these guys will be a guy I want to bet on to be the winning starting pitcher in this game. Let's just put it that way.
Good point.
All right, TB. The chat wants to talk about day baseball. We've got one day game. It is I believe it's the home opener of the Trop, the reopen of Tropicana Field today. Of course, if you missed that, the Rays are back in their old ballpark where they were displaced from last year because it had no roof. So the Rays back at home, and they take on a Cubs team that got some bad news over the weekend. Cade Horton leaves the game. It looks like he's going to be out. I don't know that they're in the same, they're not in the same place as the Blue Jays, in terms of injuries, but that is one for me that could derail this Cubs team from being what everyone expected them to be. Now, obviously, Horton doesn't matter here, but, Cubbies, they hit the road, not an impressive start, 4-5. Then again, the Rays, kind of what I think anyone would expect them to be, 4-5 through 9 games. Are you getting involved with Cubbies or Rays in this game?
I am not actually betting this game, but I do have some insight for you I can share. You guys have probably been following it. I don't know if it's insight or not, but the Rays are actually batting better than the Cubs right now. And Teon's history against these batters is very mediocre, very average. McClanahan doesn't have a history against the batters he's facing. Neither bullpen's performing well right now. Actually, the Cubs' bullpen is performing a little bit better. Got Tampa Bay ranked 25 out of 30 in current form. Not performing well at all. Starting pitchers, I got them pretty equal. So I think the Rays are surprising some people. I think we're going to see a pretty high score here, though, because neither pitcher's performing that great. 2 bullpens that are below average. And we got one lineup that's above average, which is Tampa Bay in current forms. And the Cubs actually are a little more talented than Tampa Bay in the lineup as far as I'm concerned. So they should be coming back to their normal form quite soon. So I would go over on this if I were to bet it. I have not bet it yet. But on my Twitter, when I put the pitcher OPS rankings out, Teon is over 750. So I think Tampa Bay can score on him. So, with the poor bullpens, everything considered, I think it'll go over.
Yeah, I'll get Brian in here quick. The Cubs have not hit. Again, I think the Horton injury, while it's just one guy every 5 days, that's a tough blow because every Cubs fan that I know, and I've got a couple buddies that are very, very tuned into this team, was like, this team's going to go as far as Cade Horton and Edward Cabrera take them this year. And so to have Horton might be done for the year. I mean, it has not been confirmed yet, but that injury could be Tommy John. He could be out for the season. I could only fade the Cubs right now is what I'm trying to say. Minus 115 was about where I kind of made the price though. So I haven't done it yet, but can you talk me into a Rays bet here, Bryan Leonard?
Well, keep in mind, Chicago played a doubleheader in Cleveland yesterday, and I watched both games. It was very cold there. The ball didn't really travel. And both teams had to use bullpens because, at least in the second game, both teams thought they had that game won. And there's a lot of scoring late in that game, and Cleveland was able to survive it barely as Smith almost blew it again. He's struggling right now. But I would expect, because of all the pitchers that the Cubs used yesterday, that Tyon will go as long as he possibly can. And that's good for the over, if you ask me. They're going from a colder weather stadium to an indoor stadium. And I think the bats will wake up a little bit here. I'm kind of with Brandon on looking at the over here, although McClanahan has pitched very well so far. He is coming back from injury, and I don't totally trust him at this point. I don't think he's thrown enough innings for me to be able to buy into him. So I kind of like the over here. But if you're looking for a Tyon innings pitched prop or something like that, how many outs they have, they really don't want to go away from him because they had to burn out the bullpen yesterday, and they don't want that to continue on for another series. So I think he's in there till you get to 90 pitches, and he may even go a little bit more than that. So something to look at, but I kind of like the over in this one too. Traditionally, this is not a good hitter's ballpark, but considering the cold weather and the rain that's gone around the country the last week, teams will be happy to play in this dome, I believe, from a batting standpoint.
I was kind of shocked that it was only 7.5. Mm-hmm. I mean, 7.5. We've talked about this on the show numerous times. That is the type of total that typically is reserved for like ace versus pretty good, or like, you know what I mean? Usually you got a 7.5. One of those guys is a frontline starter, and like that's not Tyon and McClanahan when he's, you know, if he was like the full like version of what he can be, is absolutely an ace. But I don't know that we've seen even close to enough from him to like put him in that category yet. Now in the chat, yeah, the Cubs have not hit. That would be a concern, but my projection's coming closer to 9 here. So I couldn't put you off of an over. Also, how much of that is like, you know, the Rays last year played in a spring training like ballpark, and then they go back to the Trop, which is a notorious under venue. Right. But do we know it's going to still play like that? I don't know. I thought that was a weirdly low total at 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. You can look at let's look at the Angels in the Braves game. They've got the aces for both teams, Sale and Soriano, going in the line 7.5. Now, granted, it's an outside game. It's more of a hitter's ballpark, but if McClanahan had 50 innings on his back right now, and I could trust him a little bit more, I could see it. But yeah, 7.5 is too low in this one. I agree.
All right, let's get TB back in here. Tokyo Brandon, what do you have going on at the site? I probably should have done a little bit more promotion during the show as the host, but I'll do it now. We've got a great double play package. You can pick 2 of the handicappers that you see on the screen. It is essentially a 2-for-1. It's going to be the best bang for your buck if you are looking for baseball volume this year, without a doubt. And that should be up on all of our pages. TB says he's got a 5%er in a game tonight, so check that out. He came out of the gate rolling this year, so I would take a look at that 5%er. TB, what are you looking at as your parlay leg for the show? And if you're going to go with that team total over, give us a different game that you've got an opinion on.
Sure. So I got a 5% play out, and like Adam just said, you can pick 2 of us on this show and get a double play. That's like $49, right? So my 5% play is $35. Pay $10 more, you get 2 cappers for 3 days. And I'm sure one of these other gentlemen will be putting out a 5% play sometime. Could be within the next 3 days. So it's good value, in my opinion. Grab a double play, me and someone else. Or those 2 guys if you want to fade me. According to the video comments, I suck and I'm terrible. And so fade me and pick the other 2 guys. Either way, we all win. So today, my other free play that I put in my video, I'll just address that real quick, is the Brewers game. They're going against Boston. And again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but if you look at my pitcher OPS rankings for today, Bayo has decent numbers against the Brewers, but man, the Brewers are ripping the cover off the ball. And their first 5 innings team total was 1.5, way too low in my opinion. I think the Brewers can get to Bayo, And I think they can get at least 2 runs in the first 5 innings. Come on, the Brewers have been scoring like crazy right now. So I don't know about the win. I mean, maybe even on the money line, because they have the better bullpen, the better starter, and the better lineup in current form. So the Brewers would definitely be worth a look, in my opinion, today. For the parlay, I will go with Houston over 5.5, which we already covered.
Yeah, I was laughing to myself this weekend because I know I gave you a hard time for saying that the Red Sox, it was just like potentially going to get worse. I said, Tokyo Brandon, it can't get worse. That's crazy. And I woke up to like Red Sox accounts and fans like demanding they sell the team after this weekend. So I had to laugh at that because
actually, sorry to interrupt. My exact words were they were 1-6, and I said they've peaked.
Yeah, well,
and then they won. And then they won the next day.
You and Red Sox country agree.
If anyone needs their team to win, slip me a 20, and I'll badmouth them for you.
No, but I'm saying they won that one game, but then it was awful all weekend, and now you got there is some serious unrest. They want John Henry to sell the team, Bryan Leonard. I don't know if that's going to happen, but the point is, TB, you might not be that far off, at least how they've started the season. So Tokyo Brandon is going with Astros team total over 5.5. There was some juice on that. What was the vig on that?
132 was the number I got.
I think you can. I'll put it in.
That was Pinnacle.
I'll go minus 135 just to make sure that everyone can get that in. All right, Brian, I will give you the floor. What are you looking at for the parlay here?
Like I said, I've won 7 straight baseball plays. I've been very, very transparent. If I'm not seeing the card well, I put out lesser plays and I put out less plays. So I've been having a lot of 1.5% plays. I haven't sold anything to the public in Major League Baseball in probably 3 or 4 days. Well, I like today's card, and I think we've got some nice underdog plays today. But I'm going to give you a favorite on the card today, and maybe you can explain to me why this line is where it's at. But San Diego's at Pittsburgh here. German Marquez is going for the Padres, the former Colorado Rocky, going against Bubba Chandler, and the Padres are the Pirates are about a 130 favorite here. 130, 128 to 135, something in that range. Total of 8.5. Why is the line so low here? Pittsburgh, if you've been watching them since their star recruit Connor Griffin has come up to the Major League Baseball, they have yet to lose a game, and he has yet to get a hit after his first at bat. He's had 1 hit so far for the Pirates, and just having him in the lineup, and I talked about this, is just showing the team, the other players on the team and the fans that they're willing to bring him up and pay him now. And it's really working out for Pittsburgh. And, you've got what could be, not Skeens is your ace, but Bubba Chandler's probably, along with Ashcraft, your second best pitcher on this team. And you're getting him at home here in this price range. I don't want Marquez. I've seen enough of him over the years. Granted, he pitched in Colorado. I understand that, but when he's gone on the road, he has not been anything special. And we're catching him now in this price range. This line should be at least 10 cents more, if you ask me. So I think there's plenty of value here on Pittsburgh at home, it's a young team that's starting to believe in themselves. And, after O'Neill had such a bad defensive game early on, he's knocking the crap out of the ball. He hit another 2 home runs yesterday. They got him batting leadoff. This is a team right now I want to be on, and that's the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I'm going to lay let's just call it a 133. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 133 on Pittsburgh here as the home favorite against San Diego.
Well, we can just talk about this game because I'm going to use one that we've already talked about. So let's stay on the topic of the Pirates for a second. Like the Rockies, they're the other team that has pretty much on a daily basis been priced incorrectly. Mm-hmm. The fact that and now there's actually been a shift here because over the weekend, minus 105 against the Orioles, same thing the next day that, I played him on Saturday. I shied away yesterday because I was worried about some bullpen usage, kind of piling up, but they went out and won 8-2. So They didn't even need the leverage bullpen guys. So now coming into today, which is the game that we're most interested here, kind of breaking it down on the show, they they don't have those same bullpen issues coming into today. Chandler's an absolute stud. And again, the point I'll continue to make is Connor Griffin, like getting him into the lineup it would be the equivalent of a team going out and getting like a blockbuster bat at the trade deadline, like the best bat on the market. I know he hasn't like had a great last couple of games, but that is how good he is. And the books have just not adjusted for him being up there yet. And yeah, I'm with you, Brian. Even at minus 130, I kind of have this closer to minus 140. So I do think you have a little value there. And I'm very pro Pirates. Tokyo Brandon, you're nodding. Pirates, Padres. What did you have on this one?
Yeah, pretty similar opinions. The Pirates are hitting really well, and the Padres are not. The Padres have the bigger names in their lineup, but they're not hitting. They're not producing at all. They kind of got lucky, in my opinion, yesterday. Manny Machado kicked a ball, and that was just kind of funny, but funny way to win a game. But the Padres started scoring yesterday. Doesn't mean they're a good scoring team. The Padres do have a good bullpen, but I've got – this is funny. Like, as long as we've been doing this show, I rank my pitchers 1 to 30 on a curve. The lowest ranking ever was 29.5 or something, and I've got Marquez ranked 30. He's the worst ranked pitcher ever that I've ever ranked. So the thing is, though, he does have a good career OPS against these batters. So it's kind of a plus and minus. But like I said in a previous show, those OPS numbers, the caveat is that those numbers could be 10 years old. So he does have a 500 OPS against these batters in what is it? Quite a large sample size, if I'm not mistaken.
How does he have a large sample size against this lineup?
27 at bats. He's got 485 OPS. So take that with a grain of salt. It's a small sample size, but
I mean,
yeah,
no,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, 27 is not a huge sample size for something like that.
It's what it is. But and those numbers could be from 10 years ago, so we don't know. Jeremy Marquez has been pitching forever, so but this year he is a mess. He's a mess, and this could be another over as well. Bubba Chandler, I got him ranked pretty mediocre, but yeah, he's got a lot more upside than Jeremy Marquez, that's for sure. Anyone named Bubba is okay in my book.
He's a stud.
He will be.
He's gonna be. I mean, the Pirate. You could be looking at a team if Jared Jones comes back and does what he's capable of doing. You could be Skeens, Chandler, Jones. Like Hunter Barco is like a big time prospect too, and he's in the bullpen. I mean, the Pirates have a chance. And the only reason I said that about their lineup is like I just didn't think that they would have had much exposure to him. You've got some guys that are, obviously he hasn't seen Griffin. Nick York hasn't been up for very long. And then you talk about the Pirates hitting the ball. O'Hearn is off to an insane start. Brandon Lowe has been awesome. Comes over from the Rays. Yeah, there's just a lot to like about the Pirates, Brian. I think you found a good one here.
Yeah, and keep in mind with Marquez, I've got him rated 146 since the season started in pitchers. I got Walker Buehler at 139. Look what happened to Buehler yesterday. So, yeah, he's not a guy I'm looking to back. Pivetta, King, and Vasquez. Vasquez, another great effort out of him the other day. So he's your ace of this ball club right now. Who would have thought that coming into the season?
Someone in the chat asked if I gave my parlay leg out yet. I have not decided which one it's going to be. I just know that it's going to be one that we've discussed. So I will stick with my first gut, which is the Marlins on the money line. I think we're looking at maybe minus 125. Does someone have a Marlins money line in front of them right now? I don't have my usual second screen, so I'm trying to operate off.
Last I checked, it was 125.
Yeah, 125. Anywhere from like 122 to 128. So yeah, you're in good shape there.
Yeah, I just like I like, I know they've got to come back home, but the Reds coming off of a sweep, 3 close games. Marlins again. I still have some concerns with Williamson. Basically hurt for 2 years, did not look good in his first start of the season. So that'll be my leg. If you missed the breakdown of that, you can always go back at the beginning of the show at any time. WagerTalk YouTube channel. We appreciate all the likes, the subscribes, the comments over there. So keep those coming. It greatly helps the show. Greatly helps the show. If you are looking for the picks, those are over on the WagerTalk page. You can get any two of us at an extremely discounted rate. When there's someone that's got a 5% like Tokyo Brandon has today, I mean, it's so much more cost effective to just grab two. It's pretty much $10 more. Not only do you get the 5%er, but you get all of TB's plays plus all of another handicapper's plays for 3 days. So it's a tremendous deal relative to the cost of the big plays. That is the end of our show, and I will recap the parlay again. Tokyo Brandon's going Astros team total over 5.5. Bryan Leonard's got Pirates minus 130, and I'm going to be on the Marlins minus 125. That's our 3-teamer for today. If you're interested in the national championship game, UConn, Michigan, Rob Vino and I will be on in about 15 minutes to break down that game. The three of us will see you guys in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern for more total bases. We'll see you guys then.